I'm Dr. Vary Stewart. I'm Public Engagement Officer at the University of St Andrews, and for many years I was a molecular biologist working in tropical diseases, both sleeping sickness and malaria. My first job as a scientist, well actually it would have been when I was at university. One summer I went out to Brazil and I worked in a lab out there, and I worked on something called schistosomiasis and another disease called leishmania, both of which are tropical diseases. But it gave me a real opportunity to see what science was doing, because I was able to work in a leper colony, which was in the middle of nowhere in Brazil. And it was an amazing place because it was the back of beyond. Hardly anyone visited, not just because it was a leper colony, but because it really was in the middle of nowhere. And there was these incredible specialists working there. There was, I don't know if you know about leprosy, but in the advanced stages of the disease, the extremities, so your fingers and your toes start to drop off, or rot away, I should actually say. And there was a gentleman who worked there who was the world's specialist in creating shoes for people with no toes. Amazing. I enjoy being a scientist. I don't classify anyone as a female scientist or a male scientist. I don't think anyone should be classified in any terms other than what they actually do. I think the biggest challenge we have, though, is with getting young girls interested in science. They really need to be inspired by younger scientists who they can see as real role models, rather than people who are way beyond them in terms of their career. My greatest achievement as a scientist is what I last discovered, because it might sound like a lame answer, but the thing about science, the last thing you discovered leads on to not just an answer, but another question. In fact, not one question, 5 or 6 questions. So yeah, the greatest thing I ever discovered is the last thing I discovered. Good question, actually. We had a PhD student whose goal in life was to be health minister for his country. You can do nearly everything. I know scientists who have gone on to be writers, politicians. You can do nearly anything you want to, as long as you're inspired by what you're doing. I think that's what's really important. I think one of the most interesting questions would be, do you enjoy what you do? And I think it's a really important question. The answer is yes, I love what I do right now, but I didn't always. There were some labs I worked in, I just didn't love what I was doing. I didn't hate what I was doing, but I didn't love what I did, and that made it a real chore. So being able to say that I love what I do, if you don't actually love what you're doing, there will be something out there that you can do that you will love. Just keep looking. It's up to you. Nobody else can find that. You have to go out and find that thing that you love doing, and then you'll always want to go to work.
That was brilliant.
Until the age of 13, I wanted to be a professional footballer, I wanted to be a rock star, and I wanted to be a brain surgeon.